Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. Once again, this is Jeffrey Daniel here, bringing you a vortex to all you beautiful people. And yes, I mean you. You are the beautiful people who are in search of the unadulterated truth, okay? It's been a while since I have given you a complete vortex, and so much has been happening since I last dropped in. Today is the 15th of December, 2025, according to that Gregorian calendar. And you guys know I'm always going to bang on that Gregorian calendar, okay? Now, for those of you, if you don't know why I bang on the Gregorian calendar, let me just explain to you, okay, real quick. Check this out. Now, it was a blistery day, February 24th, on 1582, when Pope Gregory XIII made his papal decree of issuing in the new and improved Gregorian calendar. Why do Europeans always feel the need to revise and rename our existence? That just baffles the best of us. I don't get that. But anyway, there are also two more historical figures that I'm going to get to. But check this out. Pope Gregory, he suddenly decided to recalibrate things with our calendar. He didn't ask me. Did he ask you? I don't know. But anyway, okay, let me get to two more figures, historical figures I'm going to bang on real quick, you guys. Now, they made major alterations to our calendar, okay? That is Dionysius Exiguus, okay? Dionysius Exiguus, all right? If you can pronounce that after me, these Greco-Roman names, I don't know. Anyway, he was an Eastern Roman monk, keep that in mind, who was trying to establish the Christian chronology. Stop the press. You mean Christianity hadn't previously been running on an existing timeline? I'm not saying nothing. You see, there were all of these scripts, scrolls, pages from so many different authors and from so many different ages. Hey, that rhymed, didn't it? Okay, so I guess somebody had to give it some semblance of continuity so the collective book could make sense. You see, mind you, and I hope our Christian family members are listening. I hope you guys are paying attention. This was in the year 525. Okay, that's 525 AD. And now that's the year that the supposed death of the biblical Christ figure. Now, they finally gave Christ a birth and a death date, making it the BC and AD errors. Now, like many of you, I also thought that AD meant after death of Christ, but no, it's Latin for Anno Domini, and it means the year of our Lord, okay? It wasn't a Jew, it wasn't a Hebrew, it wasn't any other Semitic person, but a Roman is responsible for establishing the dates of Christ's existence. Marinate on that for a while. And Christians are rolling with it. But hey, whatever floats your boat, I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to enlighten you guys, okay? One more figure comes up, all right? And it is the Roman ruler Julius Caesar. Easy enough to pronounce and easy enough. You guys know Julius Caesar, okay? The guy who married Cleopatra and blah, 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 blah. They murdered him on the Senate steps and all that stuff. Okay, anyway, it was Julius Caesar who switched the new year from March back to January 1st. Now, how many of you even know that? How many of you guys are aware of that? That the original New Year was in March, not in January, okay? All right, here's what he did. He decided to dedicate it to Janus. It's the Roman pagan goddess of beginnings. The Roman pagan goddess of beginnings, Janus. That's January. That's where January comes from, okay? And it also added the 4-year leap year cycle to make his recalibrated calendar from falling out of step, you see? And here we are still adhering to the manipulation of our historical timelines created by these Roman individuals who only serve their own agendas. So when you celebrate the changing of the year from 2025 to 2026 on January 1st, just remember that the real New Year cycle does not even really begin until March 1st. And how do we know this to be evident? How do we know this to be factual? The proof has always been sitting in plain sight. Originally, Months of the year did not have names, they only had numbers from 1 to 13. Oops, did I just go over you guys' head with 13 months? That's another discussion. Okay, we'll get into that at another time. You see, I spent over 20 something years living in Japan. And in Japan, they still use the numeric system for each month of the year, as does the Chinese calendars. No names of the month, just numbers. And it's still evident in the calendar that we use today, with the months of September, October, November, and December. Those are not names. If you speak Latin, those are numbers. September, septere, in Latin means 7. But we call September the 9th month of the year. Let's go to October. October, as you all know, like octopus, octagon, octo means 8. October is the 8th month of the year. November means 9. November is the 9th month of the year, which means December, which is DEC, like decade, a decimal, DC. DC means 10 in Latin. So if December is the 10th month of the year, that means that January is the 11th, February is the 12th, and March is the first month of the year. You see, you guys go back and fact check me. I always say fact check me. You guys, if you've never heard of this before, go ahead and look it up, okay? And that is why I will always be banging on the Gregorian calendar from Pope Gregory the 13th, Dionysius, Eusebius, and Julius Caesar until they replace our original calendar where it's supposed to be, okay? There's a reason for them doing this. People don't just do these things arbitrarily and just randomly. Hey, you guys, let's switch this up. Let's change. There's a pernicious reasons why they do these things, you guys. So that's another discussion. Okay, anyway, if this is your first time riding with me, please allow me to give you an introduction to this post. This is called my VORtext because the VOR is the acronym to the voice of reason, okay? And I do endeavor to be the voice of reason as I pull you into an aggregation of knowledge and information in an attempt to help us better understand this existential journey called life that we are all a prisoner of. So as I take you on this excursion of knowledge and information, if I disseminate anything that's uncomfortable, just remember, the truth has no obligation to be comfortable. It just has to be honest. So if you hear any uncomfortable truths, you guys, sometimes you just have to open up your mind and expand it so you can take in something new because, you know, it's good for you. It's good for you. Now, my disclaimer, anything I say and stand for is not meant to be discriminative against any race of people, any group of people, or any individual. I only like to bang on topics and subjects and not individual people unless you deserve it. Do you deserve it? Okay, all right. Now, remember, this is the information age, so ignorance is a choice. In this climate of fake news and cancel culture, I do endeavor to be the voice of reason, bringing you my VORtext to pull you into the unadulterated truths that only you beautiful people are in search of because you do deserve it. And lastly, I am not a news reporter, so you can find the news on your local stations as you do every day, you know, whichever you prefer. But I do like to give us a clear perspective on the pertinent issues that are affecting our lives in the most pernicious ways, all right? Now, looking back on this year, which we're almost done with this year, according to the Gregorian calendar, we're almost done with this year. I would like to just thank all the people who came out to celebrate with Shalimar and celebrate music and life with us in the year 2025, featuring Howard Hewitt, Carolyn Griffey, and myself, Jeffrey Daniel. Now, we toured Amsterdam, Spain, the UK, the United States, and Nigeria. And I wonder how long it would be considered the United States. We'll see about that later. Also, to all the people who came to celebrate my birthday in Los Angeles back on August 24th with Howard Hewitt too, because he wasn't going to be in America on his birthday, but he and I were celebrating our milestone number together, okay? So he piggybacked on my birthday on August 24th, and it was so beautiful, you guys. Oh, it was amazing. I want to thank Charles Washington and his wife, Carolyn Vajiga Johnson, and the other Soul Train family members, and whoever else pitched in for making this memorable event such a successful gathering. It was so beautiful being back at home in my hometown on my birthday after decades. I mean decades. My heart is filled with so much happiness and gratitude. I just like to thank all of you who attended. I usually don't even celebrate my birthday anytime, but I miss my other milestone years, my 40th, my 50th, my 60th. So I had to give a nod on this one, okay? You know, and then Howard, he was in the air on his birthday, which was October 1st. So when he got to Nigeria, we gave him a celebration, and I piggybacked off of his in Nigeria, in Abuja. So we got that thing done. We made it do what it do. Okay, now, let me give you guys a couple of wise words. A quick word from the wise. People, stop looking for happiness, okay? You should strive for contentment, because happiness is a fleeting emotion that can change like the weather. But when you are content, you can always manage the highs and low tides, okay? Be content with what you have in your life and the real people that are in your lives. That in itself brings happiness. Excuse me, get my little burp in. Wet my whistle. And stop living to eat, and you have to start eating to live, okay? Either you age gracefully or wastefully. The choice is yours, all right? And I want to say this to men in general, but I want to say this specifically to my black brothers, okay? I want to say specifically to black men, but to all men, okay? Get your checkup. I do my semi-annual checkup every year, twice a year. Check your sugar in your blood, check your cholesterol, you know, check your blood pressure, check your for your prostate and things like that. Don't wait. I know us men are macho and we're doing our thing, and we wait until we feel something wrong or we notice something, and then we go, and sometimes it could be too late. Early detection is the best, you know, policy. So you guys, get your checkups, okay? All men, but you brothers, my black men specifically, you guys, get checked up at least once a year, but I do mine twice a year. I do my semi-annually, okay? And that make sure that you got everything in check, because you never know what's going to happen, okay? Now, the older we are getting, we're starting to lose more people in our lives. So please take the time to appreciate each other before any of us make that transition. Don't allow pride, hate, or misunderstanding to prevent you from making peace or reconciling with that dear someone, because no one knows the day or the hour. And we lost some dear people this year. Our brother Walter Scott, one of the twins of the Whispers. Our brother Dana Myers, one of the writers in the Solar in Leon Silver's camp. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You know, I'm going off the top of my head and paraphrasing. I know we've lost some milestone people this year. Jamal Michael Warner. There's a lot of people. So you guys, you know, don't take life for granted. You know, make peace with anyone, because this thing is short. This life is short anyway, and you never know, okay? So make peace with each other, okay? All right, there you go, there you go, there you go. Now, as we move closer to the end of 2025, and before we embark on the coming year, I'm sure you all have the feeling and witnessing a major shift in our world. It's just a major shift, not just politically, not just economically or religiously or geographically, but there's a major shift that is happening mentally as well as spiritually. People are beginning to question and research outside of the boxes that has kept us restrained for centuries. Rather it be a political box, a racial box, a beauty complex box, a financial or social box, or a religious box, or even a relationship box. You know, we have been trapped within the confines of various boxes, and we're now finally questioning this matrix that we're living in. I told you all before, a few years back, we are moving into the age of Aquarius, and that in itself is a major cosmological occurrence, whether you subscribe to it or not, or believe in it or not. That's inconsequential. It is happening. There are constellation in our planet and our solar system is moving into the age of Aquarius, okay? Now, world leaders are no longer conducting themselves with the same caliber of decorum, integrity, or accountability. The engagement of wars have become more overtly barbaric and shameless. Citizens are rising up against their country's leaders and demanding their removal from the seats of power. The earth itself is becoming more restless, and natural disasters are more frequent and more destructive. You've been watching on the news, you guys, you know, watch what's happening. In fact, a volcano just erupted in Ethiopia, and they said that hadn't happened in the past, what, more than 10,000, 100,000 years or something like that. I mean, it's I'm paraphrasing, but it hasn't happened since modern humans have been on the earth. And so things are starting to happen so precipitously, so we have to keep up with what's going on, because this thing is reaching some kind of a crescendo, and it all has to do with the new positioning we're moving in. They just reported that the sun has some plasma explosions that are coming towards our planet that's supposed to be disrupting maybe satellites or electronics or electromagnetic field, that these things are going on. There's things that happen, you guys, all around us, just even outside of our immediate socio-political events that are getting disrupted and everything. And that's probably why everything is going crazy, So, it seems the value of human life holds no value at all. Mass public shootings have become such a common occurrence and a normal news report till they have desensitized the public to its horrific impacts on our communities until it hits too close to home. We just had another one. Just in Australia, these guys fired on some Jewish people celebrating the Hanukkah, and then at this Brown University in America, somebody went and opened it. These things are happening weekly, monthly. It's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand, you guys. People are also being forced to take sides, one side against each other, if it's the political side or the religious front. We're being forced to take sides. We're being more divided now than we ever have been, you guys. And the subject of gender preference has become its own biggest point of contention in human history. And we can now be discriminated against for having too heterosexual of a mindset. That is deep. That is deep. For having too heterosexual of a mindset, we could be discriminated against. I remember when Kevin Hart said something about he didn't want his son to grow up to be a certain way, or he wanted his son to be a certain way, and people got offended and they wanted to cancel him from hosting one of the shows because he has a heterosexual mindset. Well, I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. If you're able to hear my voice, if you're watching this video, if you're just alive, you are the product of a heterosexual relationship. That's what got you here. Now, whatever your sexual preference is, that's your business. I'm not here to condemn. I'm not against anybody. But I can't be against myself. What I was born to be, I'm a man, and I'm a heterosexual man, and I'm living a heterosexual life. If you choose to do otherwise, God bless you. I'm not here to condemn you, but don't attack us for being what we were born to be. That's all I'm saying, okay? All right. That's all I got to say about that. Like Forrest Gump, okay, you guys? So, and even speaking out against one of the smallest minority group of people on the planet can get you suspended or fired from your place of employment, and even worse, canceled from their culture. Now, the reason why I say cancel from their culture is because you can never be canceled from your culture. You are your culture. All you got to do is just wake up and show up. You are your culture, and no one can take that from you, okay? Now, let's move it on. Let's keep it moving. In case any of you haven't been paying attention, we are also in the middle of an interstellar visitation from what has been named 3I Atlas, okay? That has the scientific community in an uproar trying to identify the nature and the origins of this interplanetary object and its potential purpose for being in such close proximity to our home planet and passing through our solar system. Now, some astrophysicists are claiming it might be an extraterrestrial alien life form paying us a visit. And some deduce that it's just a very rare type of comet that has never been witnessed by modern humans before. Whatever the case, this is a truly rare cosmological experience we are privileged to witness. Unless it does turn out to be hostile, then we have to call in the Men in Black. Then the Men in Black, the Galaxy Defender. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'll stop you guys. All right, but this thing, that the 3I Atlas, is now on the other side of the sun. The sun is between Earth and it is passing behind the sun. And when it comes back off the other side, then it'll be visible again. We'll be able to look at it again, survey it. And they're saying that it's not moving like a normal comet or asteroid, in fact, its speed has accelerated or slowed down, it's changed course, it's emitting some type of signal or something that they're picking up from it. And meteors don't do that unless it's some new and improved, I don't know, some other type of meteor that came from another part of the universe that we don't know yet, or unless something is alive in that thing. We don't know yet. I'm not speculating. I'm not trying to scare you guys. So don't start packing your bags and running up and down the street in a panic. We'll see what it is, okay? So leave it up to our professionals, Neil deGrasse Tysons and the astrophysicists and those people, okay? Hold on. But the main thing that has me concerned, and I love how they use all these cute little acronyms to make it sound more innocuous, but what concerns me is this race for AI technology to take over our existence. You see, AI doesn't sound so pernicious, does it? But in fact, AI sounds cute until you understand its real potential as artificial intelligence. But wait, don't we still have natural, organic intelligence? And now with AI imagery, we can no longer distinguish what is real and what is fake. What do they call this? The deep fake? Anything and anyone can now be manipulated and compromised, and there is no accountability for these misleading fallacies. Now, I get the part about bringing old photos to life or restoring damaged pictures and doing cute things and helping us out, but making a video of a person giving a speech and it's not even that person at all, that is deceptive, mendacious, and dangerous. They can put my head on another figure's body and they can sample my voice and just put things out there, and you guys are going to think it's me. So be careful what you see. We don't know what's real or not anymore on the internet. I see a lot of videos of cougars attacking people, or lion attacking, or something in the house, or this going on and that, and you have to think, is this real? Is this real? We don't know anymore, And if you want to be a pilot and fly a plane, if you want to drive a car, if you need a gun license, you have to take tests for these things. Why do they just put all of this technology in anybody's hands? And it's just unbridled, and they just putting things out there, whatever they feel like putting out there. They even announce the deaths of certain celebrities, and you get shocked, and then you find out that it's not even true. Who would even want to post such stuff like that? That's horrible, Now, what's worse for us entertainers is AI can now sample our voices and make entire songs using our voice. Now, it might seem cool, but what are human entertainers supposed to be doing if AI is performing for us? You see, it started with the drum machine back in the late 70s, the Roger Lynn drum, the Lynn drums, and where we can program drum patterns without using a real drummer. Now, that was putting drummers out of work in the studio, but when you got out to the live stage, you needed a drummer on stage. But now it's us singers too that are being replaced. And why are we so all excited about these new technologies? We're all excited and compliant to see them usher in artificial intelligence that is poised to take over organic human positions in our societies. Why are all these billionaire tech giants so eager to compete with the human brain and replace it with their new toys? And I'm gonna get into that. You see, people, this is exactly like those Frankenstein movies, and these movies always ended up very bad for us humans. Just like with the arrival of the internet, AI technology is facilitating a new category of criminality. And I just read something this morning and the other day about all of the new type of cyber crimes, and now they're introducing all these type of anti-cybercrime software for you to install in your computer or put in your phone for protection. And all these people are hacking your accounts, they're getting into your bank accounts, all this stuff is going on. All this is happening with this technology. This technology is facilitating a whole new category of criminality, and we got to deal with it. And at the end of the day, you think, why are we, if we know that it can't be 100% secure, which they have hacked into government sensitive, highly classified files as well. So if we know that it can't be 100% secure, why are we dumping all of our personal and sensitive data into this without plan B? Why are we all doing this? I just don't get it. Humans have been alive on this earth, if not a million, but we know for sure hundreds of thousands of years without AI technology. We've made it this far. I am not anti technological advances, but if it work for us and serve us, that's good. But if it's taking us over, if it's taking over us, we'll get to that. We'll get to that, you guys. So, what is exactly so horrible about natural organic humans that evolved naturally on this earth? Why must they replace us with artificial intelligence when their creation is only imitating and emulating humans in the first place? Why does everything have to move at a faster capacity and outdo the human mind's capacity? What in the hell are we racing towards? Our own demise? Are any of you guys asking, what are these people doing to our world? Are you even thinking about it before you run out and just jump on the new thing? Now, I know us humans are fallible and far from perfect, but it's our imperfections that make us unique and leaves room for spontaneity. Everything is not meant to be linear and digitally perfect. In fact, many mistakes have produced greater unexpected results. You see, and that's what it means to be human. We could learn from trial and error and find newer ways to correct our mistakes. I'm down with that. I'm good with that. So right now, we're all spectators to our own potential demise, watching all of these companies compete for total control of our lives, personal information, and our futures. Google, Meta, Microsoft, Elon Musk, and now the Chinese, they are racing neck to neck for control of our daily lives, data, and activities. And us 8 billion people are not only allowing them to, but we're cheering them on like they're pop stars. Okay? Now, this next thing I want to break out for you guys. You guys are going to probably think I got too much time on my hands, but this is really interesting. This is very important. Okay, so check this out, you guys. Are you guys still leaning with me? Okay, still leaning with me. Here we go. Now they're all gagging over the newly released Gemini 3 app that's supposed to revolutionize the AI game. It's designed to help you reason with your most complex problems. It unlocks a new type of interface that adapts to your needs and performs multi-step tasks on your behalf. And what does all of this mean? It means you will not have to think for yourselves anymore. Your beautiful, complex, organic human brain, which is the most brilliant entity in the universe, will no longer require your engagement. Isn't that just wonderful? Isn't that just peachy keen? We will no longer have to think for ourselves and just sit back and let our brains devolve into a bowl of silly putty. Some of you have already devolved that far. Not all of you, but some of you have already devolved that far. Can you remember back when we used to remember everybody's phone number? We knew our home phone number. We memorized our girlfriend or boyfriend's phone number. Our cousins and other relatives. We knew everybody's phone number back in the days. But now, all we do is scroll for the names and click the call button. We're slowly being dumbed down. As they say, if you don't use it, you will lose it. And there's certain parts of our brains that we're starting not to use. It might not happen in this generation, but in time, if we continue to stop using the full capacity of our brain that we have been using, because we've never used the 100% capacity of our brains. But if we don't continue to evolve that, we will lose it, So I'm going to talk about this, you guys. Our brain memory capacity. In case none of you understood this and knew this before, I'm going to tell you about our brain memory capacity. If we were created with a brain that's so perfectly complex that it has the memory capacity of 2.5 petabytes, which is approximately 2.5 quadrillion bytes of digital memory, why do we need to supersede that? 2.5 quadrillion bytes of memory. Do you know what a quadrillion is? A quadrillion, if I'm not mistaken, is 15 zeros behind that. Okay? 15 zeros. That's our brain can do already. The average human has approximately, it was estimated, somewhere around 70,000 thoughts per day, give or take. And each individual thought creates a thermodynamic chemical reaction. And each individual thought creates a thermodynamic chemical reaction stimulating neuroplasticity in the brain that improves our functioning from 35% to 75%. Just thinking in itself is a powerful mechanism. Just the act of thinking fires off something. The human brain has 86 billion neurons, 400 miles of capillaries, which is a hair-thin blood vessel that delivers nutrients and oxygen to cells throughout the body. We have 100,000 miles of axons, which is a thread-like nerve cell that conducts impulses from the cell body to other cells. That's enough to circle the earth 4 times, okay? And more than 10 trillion synapses. Synapses, that's the junction between neurons. And we have 86 billion neurons. You don't have enough zeros in your calculator to add this up. How do you, I don't know, you guys, this is mind-boggling. All that is happening within us, okay? But no, that's not enough thinking capacity for our billionaire tech gods. They want more and more and more until we no longer exist. And the crazy thing about it is, our subconscious mind is stronger than the conscious mind. Can you imagine that? Now, I know we get up every day. Okay, let me get up. Or what time is it? Okay, I'm up at this time. Okay, let me go to the toilet, do what I got to do. Okay, let me brush my teeth. Let me take my shower. I'm going to put on this today. Now, this don't go with that. All these thoughts are just firing off, and each individual thought that you have is a thermodynamic chemical reaction just firing out. Pyum, 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 pyum. It's like what they did in the Matrix. They had all the bodies laying in a capsule and had our brains hooked up to these machines. So while we were dreaming and living in this dream life in the Matrix, we were generating power that was powering up all the batteries and for these machines. So you see, there's some truth in that science fiction, you know? So Einstein said, and he's supposed to be one of the greatest scientists in human history. I don't know, Imhotep? Okay, anyway, in modern history, all right. Albert Einstein said that the human imagination is the most powerful thing in the universe. Can you imagine that? Now I know you guys are, no, we're not competing with God. We're not saying we're stronger than God or more powerful than God and Allah. We're not saying that. We're saying that the human imagination and the mind is the most powerful thing in the universe. Could you imagine, what would the universe be? Black holes, galaxies, supernovas, stars, planets, all these things happening and going on, if there was nothing to observe it, if there was no consciousness to comprehend it, to analyze it, to study it, to measure it, to find ways to utilize it and to, try to find ways to harness it and coexist with it, what would all of that have meant? And the universe is so vast, we can't even measure it, and we'll never measure it because it's expanding. So anything that's million or billion of light years away, by the time you reach that point, it would have expanded further billions of light years away because it's constantly expanding. So we'll never get to the edge of the universe. We can only deal with our observable universe, only the part of it we can see, which is like this. That I don't know if you guys have the capacity to even follow and comprehend this stuff, but for me it's intriguing. I love this stuff, okay? Now, does anyone bother to ask them, these tech giants that are developing all this technology, does anyone ever bother to ask them what is their end game? What goal exactly are they trying to reach? Or are we all supposed to just continue racing against nature in perpetuity? How does any one human suppose he has the right to alter the natural organic creation that has been in existence millennia before he was even born? It makes you wonder, what do these people have against nature? The nature that we are a part of and the nature that sustains us. Have you noticed that whenever you see these science fiction movies about the future, movies about the future, these space movies and stuff, especially space movies, they're devoid of nature. Plastic, carbon and metal spaceship, glass, shiny silver space suits or other fabricated materials. They got 3D printing machines to produce food or other tools that they use, humanoid robots, and no sign of nature that produce life on Earth. That is their ideal of a perfect utopian society, devoid of nature. But we are nature. Well, at least some of us are. I'm nature, I know that, okay. Then, they got the nerve to go out hiking in the woods and go up a mountain trail, climbing, and claiming that they're going out to connect with nature. Fool, we are nature, okay? This entire planet and everything on it is nature. So stop this. Oh, we're going to go out and see nature, or we're going to go out to a nature trail. As long as you continue to compartmentalize nature as a separate entity from us, that's what makes it easier for people to abuse it, to deforestation, to burn down forests, or to pollute the ocean because, oh, that's nature. We're human. We're this. No, we are nature. This whole thing is one. That's why it's the universe. Uni, that means one. This whole existence is one, but we're in separate parts. But it's all a collective. It's supposed to be a collective. All this racial division, all this religious division, all this geographical division. It's crazy. We're all supposed to be part of one whole, even though we represent different, segments of it, but we're coming from the whole, okay? Now, even today, when they see a civilization that's isolated from the rest of the world, like living off the natural environment, they consider it to be a backwards third world society, but it's nature that sustains us. We now live in a society that has substituted almost everything that's natural to synthesize it into hybrid, GMO, or completely artificial copy of the real substance. It's safe to say that they hate nature. Or do they just fear it? I don't know. But I can imagine if some aliens did come here from another planet and saw what we were doing to our own environment and saw what we were doing to our own selves. Just, we're living off of it and destroying it at the same time. And our answer is, oh, we can create a chemical and synthetic copy of the real thing. But you're never going to get the real nutrients, the real vitamins, the real, substances from it that we really need to remain healthy. That's probably why we're being plagued with all these diseases and all these things that are going on. But anyway, let me go on. I don't mean to go off on a tangent, with this thing, but that's why pharmaceutical medicines have to list so many possible side effects. When you see when I go back to America, it is crazy. Take this medicine for your headache. Side effects may be vomiting, diarrhea, going blind, losing a leg. I mean, the side effect list outweighs the actual illness itself. So why even take the medicine? I'll just live with the illness. I'll just have whatever it is that I have if I have to suffer all that just to try and cure it. Because these things leave a harmful residue because they're made of chemicals. They're just imitating the real thing. Real medicine comes from plants, from roots, from barks, from leaves. That's where medicine is supposed to come from, Our ancestors knew this, and they practiced it until John D. Rockefeller came along. He created and funded the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, and outlawed natural and holistic medicines and practices in order for him to sell his petroleum-based pharmaceutical medicines made from chemicals, just to make him filthy rich. Can you imagine that? To make himself filthy rich, he totally got rid of holistic medicines and replaced it with all these chemical pharmaceuticals. And that's why we're suffering. That's why we're suffering from all these side effects, and other diseases are coming along because those chemicals are not meant to be in our body. They don't dissolve and dissipate naturally in our body the way plants, roots, and herbs do. You see, because they're not natural. Now, in our population, we're suffering from an array of illnesses that didn't exist like 100 years ago, 200 years ago, and further back. They have tampered with the human anatomy, the Holy Grail that's inside of us, our DNA and our immune system. Did we hear about Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer, and all these other diseases when we were young? And now prostate cancer is affecting so many men that it's going crazy. It just wasn't like that when I was younger, Breast cancer and other forms of cancer are a result of our polluted environment and what we're consuming. But these corporations, they just don't have any conscience doing these things to us. And they don't care how many people die as long as they enrich themselves. That's sad. That's sad what our own societies are doing to us. All these corporations are taking over our society, and the only thing they care about is maintaining their wealth. Whatever happens to us, because one dies, a new one's born. Hey, another one dies. Hey, another one's born. And we're all replaceable in their eyes, you know? Have you noticed that, oh yeah, and they also talk about not only the pharmaceuticals things, but they're talking about this thing, the ultra processed foods, you know? They purposely added industrial grade chemicals to enhance the flavors, colors, and the preservation on the shelf life for these foods. And there's things in it that make us addicted to these things. They put in chemicals to make it addicted. It's just like heroin or something like that. I don't know the name of these others, the opioid or whatever these drugs are that are highly addictive, because it releases the same amount of dopamine in your brain as the sugar or heroin in these things, and they make you addicted to these things, and they know it. And this is these ultra processed foods. Now they got some people coming out trying to ban them. Certain countries don't even allow them, but in America, it's rife with ultra processed foods, and you guys are just eating things that are killing you slowly, giving it to your children and your loved ones. Have you noticed how social media has become so inundated with so many medicines and health advertisement lately? I'm trying to watch a video about something, and all these things they keep sending you on Facebook, and that they keep sending you all these ads for different medicines and different this and different that. They have a medicine for every known health or cosmetic issue. But what kills me is they say, these videos, hey, I'm going to show you real quick how to get rid of the stinky feet and 3 easy steps. All you have to do is listen to this video and you'll be cured once and for all. And then you click on the link and you listen to a lecture, testimonial, a lecture. You're like, okay, come on, man, get to the end of this. More lectures. Why do they think that we just want to sit there and listen to you're like, hey, I want to know what the cure for stinky feet is, man. Come on, get on with the video. These things go on for so long, I just get off of it. I just go. And that's why my feet are still stinky today. I could not wait to the end of that video. No, I'm just joking. But you know, am I? Okay. Anyway, these things, they tell you, they pull you in. And once you put on click, you start listening, and you're just sitting there listening and listening and listening. You start falling asleep. Why do they have to go so long with all these testimonials and instances and this one, when I remember back when, and it just goes on and on and on. And then they try to sell you another medicine anyway at the end of it. I thought it was going to be something holistic or something like that. At the end of it, you do away with all these medicines you don't need. Try this one. You know, that's all they do. So it's a clickbait at the end of the day. So people, whatever it is that you subscribe to in life, it's safe to say you need to be aware of your environments in every area of this existence. Stay close to those who you know are tried and trusted family members and friends over the years. Get rid of unneeded weight that can hold you back from reaching your life's fullest potential. That's all you can do. We never know what we're going to wake up to tomorrow, and at the rate things are going now. But whatever happens, yes, be concerned, but don't let things put you into a state of panic. We're going to see some crazy things happening, you guys. We're going to see some really crazy things happening, but don't let it panic you. Don't go crazy, okay? Because that's what it's meant to do. They are controlling us with fear. That's what they're doing. This world is being controlled by fear. Fear of being in poverty, fear of losing your job, fear of a war breaking out, fear of someone robbing you of your possessions, fear of dying and going to hell, fear of someone in your relationship cheating on you or leaving you. We have so many things to fear in this life, when all you have to do is know when to let go and let God. That saying out of Christianity, I really love. Let go and let God. And it's the God gene within you, okay, that you have to activate. As I say, it's the God is within us. It's the God gene within you that you have to activate, because we are gods on this earth. Now, I didn't say we're the supreme being. I'm not saying that we're the supreme being that created the universe and everything in it. I didn't say that. But we are gods on this earth, okay? But religion doesn't allow us to say that. It sounds like blasphemy. But we were told that the supreme being is omnipotent and omnipresent, meaning it's within all living things. It's within. It's within. The scripture says so. I didn't make it up, okay? Made in its own image, all right? So, look, you guys, whatever faith that you subscribe to, just know that you're in this life for a reason, and all you have to do is stay focused and you will achieve your life's objectives. That's what prayer is for, to meditate and keep your minds and soul in line with the master plan. That's what prayer is for. That's what it is, So stop downplaying the term universe. Uni means oneness. We're all part of one. It's called the universe, not a separate verse. It's a universe. Not one new atom has entered our universe since the universe began. Let me go back. Not one new atom has entered this universe since the universe began. Everything started from one atom, and it's been multiplying and multiplying and transforming, and it's turned into protons and neutrons, electrons, molecules, cells, and physical materials, and the carbon based and this and that, and they continue to multiply and proliferate and reform new versions of itself in perpetuity. It's just been going on and going on and going on until he created planets, and until it created suns and black holes and supernovas and life forms and human life, and then here we are. I'm not going with the whole evolution thing, saying that we all evolve naturally. I'm not saying that, but the basis of the substance that we're all made of, the subparticles going down to the atoms and the subparticles and that. The study of cosmology, of space and that, cosmology, the study of that, things are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They keep discovering something bigger than what they've seen before, and bigger. Now, the study of physics, and when you get into quantum physics and quantum mechanics, it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Just when they thought something was the smallest, now they're finding something smaller than that. In perpetuity, it just keeps going and going in both directions. And that's mind-boggling when you think about it, So, let me tell you guys something. Talking about proliferating and transforming and multiplying, the most beautiful thing I ever heard was, I didn't just procreate children into this world, but I made another version of myself. That is profound. I didn't just create a child, but I created another version of myself. Don't look at your children as separate beings. They're not, but rather as another part of you and an extension of you, as we're an extension of our parents and their extension of their parents, and so on and so on and so on and so forth, which means the atoms that make up our physical bodies are billions of years old. Now, I know if you're looking at the surface, wait a minute, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm only 35 years old. I'm only 60 years old. I'm only 70 years old. So nope. The same atoms that we're made of, that multiplied to make us, that were in our parents, that were in their parents, that were in their parents, and their parents, going all the way back to whatever it started. It goes back billions of years. So we are actually physically, even though in this particular form, we've only been here as long as our birth dates, calculate, but the atoms that we're made of, because the atoms just continue to split into more atoms, into more atoms, into more atoms. That's what's going on. So we're billions of years old, older than the earth and our sun. That's deep, you guys. We are composed of the same material that makes up stars, planets, and galaxies throughout the entire universe. That is too enormous to measure. So make the best of this life and live it to the best of your abilities. And the most thing you'll be able to be remembered for, this is what you'll be remembered for after you make your transition. Not how much money you amassed, not how big your house was, not how many designer name clothings that are in your wardrobe, but it's how you affected other lives in a positive way. That's what you'll be remembered for, because those lives will continue to carry on the essence of your spirit long after you're gone. That's what you'll be remembered for. What's deep? When I was a little kid, they had all these golden Hollywood stars like Lucille Ball and Bob Hope and Fred Astaire. And how often do you even hear these names nowadays? You see what I mean? Now we still remember Michael Jackson. He's been gone, about 15 years now, and Prince. And we remember people who were there while we were young. But within 3 more generations from now, are they even going to know these people? Are they going to know that I was here? This life seems long to us because we're going day by day, but it's really short. So we got to make the best of it. Now, the question is, where does our consciousness go when we leave this body and this plane of existence? And that has been, a point of contention for a long time. where does this body go when we leave, you know? So we'll talk about that another time. I've spoken about that before, because we don't die. This physical body will die. Our consciousness, this thing goes on. Put it like this. If you have a mobile phone, right? I can go on my mobile phone and watch a YouTube video. The video is not in my phone. I'm watching it on the phone, but the video is being transmitted from somewhere else to the phone, just like watching something on television. The movie and the people on the news, that's not in my television, but my television is a vessel to carry that information and hold that information so I can receive it. That's what our physical bodies are on an organic scale. That information is coming into our physical body, and now we're receiving it, and now we're able to deliver it to those who are conscious enough to receive it and interact with us and help us interact with this world. So you see, we are not just this body. Our consciousness is something else, and scientists still can't put the finger on where does the consciousness come from, you know? So anyway, I'm gonna get on you guys because I'm going off on a tangent. But I love stuff like this. I love information. I love this aggregation of information and putting together for you guys. But you know, we are experiencing a great universal shift. So be aware of it. Whatever Trump and them are doing, whatever this political leader's doing, don't let it stress you. Don't let it make you crazy. Be concerned, be aware. But when you are aware of that God gene within you, it'll help you deal with what's going on, and we'll get through this thing, you guys, okay? So as we're getting ready to go through another year, I know a lot of you are about to celebrate December 25th. Almost every year I kind of tell you guys the truth about December 25th, and I don't like to go around busting people's bubbles and stuff like that. Go ahead, enjoy the time with your family, go out and party, go out and have fun if you want to do that. But understand what it really means and what it's for, okay? I'll do that the next time. I don't want to be a spoil sport. I'm not here to take away your joy, okay? That's not what I'm here for. But you should have joy in the truth and knowing what it really means and living for the truth, okay? So until the next time, thanks for riding with me. You guys, please give me your feedback. You know I love and I treasure your feedback. You know, everyone doesn't have to agree with me. You don't agree with me, but at least I'm disseminating the truth to you in this information, okay? So thanks for riding with me on my VORtext. Until the next time, you guys, I love you all. Make love great again, okay? Spread the love and just be kind to each other. Be good to each other, you guys, because things are getting crazy. They're getting very crazy now, okay? All right. I love you all. Stay blessed.